Hello and welcome to Renfrew North Parish Church. Today our reflection comes from inside the church itself, and there are great things going on. There are preparations being made for going onto our live stream service, which will hopefully happen towards the end of this month or beginning of next. But see Facebook and our website for details of that and when it's going to be happening. If there's anything that the pandemic has taught us over the last few months, it's that hygiene is very important. Whether that's washing our hands regularly with warm water and soap, or being physically distant from others, wearing face coverings, using hand sanitizer, or just generally being aware of the need for clean conditions. That is very unlike what Jesus was getting at in our passage from Matthew this morning. Matthew chapter 15, verse 10. Some fairly familiar words, but words which help us to look at an aspect of cleanliness. Jesus called the crowd to him and said, "Listen and understand. What goes into a man's mouth does not make him unclean, but what comes out of his mouth, that is what makes him unclean." Then the disciples came to him and asked, "Do you know that the Pharisees were offended when they heard this?" He replied, "Every plant that my heavenly Father has not planted will be pulled up by the roots. Leave them. They are blind guides. If a blind man leads a blind man, both will fall into a pit." Peter said, "Explain the parable to us." "Are you still so dull?" Jesus asked them. "Don't you see that whatever enters the mouth goes into the stomach and then out of the body, but the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and these make a man unclean? For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, and slander. These are what makes a man unclean. But eating with unwashed hands does not make him unclean." Jesus was making this distinction between ritual cleanliness and actual cleanliness, and saying in this context that the foods that you eat do not make you clean and unclean. And elsewhere he talks about the use of utensils, cups and jugs. Whether they have been ritually cleansed or not does not make you clean or unclean. What Jesus is actually saying is what's coming from inside is very important. Whether it's through our conscience or our hearts or our minds, what comes out of us comes from within. So he was warning against the bad things that come from what's within our hearts. But equally, let's work on the clean things that can come out of our hearts. In the same way that we've been very focused on having our clean hands and clean surfaces and sanitizer to ensure that we're very clean and hygienic. In the same way, we need to work on what it is that comes from within us that enables us to be clean. So that if we have a clean and a pure heart and a clean and pure minds and clean and pure souls, then what comes out will be clean. There'll be kind words, words of encouragement, good actions, things that we do for other people. These will automatically flow from within us. And so I'd like us just to think on that, to think about the ways in which what comes from inside is to be good, is to be encouraging, is to be faithful, is to be right with God. Today's message brings to an end our recorded video messages each Sunday morning, because from next Sunday, the message will be brought to you live through our live stream at 11:15 on Sunday morning. You can view the live stream on our website, on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, you can dial into our telephone service to hear it on our audio podcast. So please do look out for more announcements this week on social media. But until then, stay well, take care, stay safe. Goodbye.